Hey guys, we are doing our grid drawing and we are going to be gridding our beetle. This beetle that is your reference photo back on Google Slides, you're going to use this photo to draw, okay? So if you're distance learning, this is the one that you're going to be doing, okay? I'm also going to be doing our example with the same photo. First thing you need is your reference photo, a piece of drawing paper, a ruler, a pencil, an eraser, and a Sharpie. It's optional if you want to Sharpie over your lines at the very end. Okay, so to do a duplicate of this drawing, we need to get a duplicate of this size. Okay, this size is 6 by 9. So with your ruler, we can measure out 6 by 9 inches. Now I'm going to be smart and use the edge of my paper as part of my layout. So 9 inches. I'm going to make a dot right here, and the edge of my paper is also part of my measuring, okay? Come up 6 inches, and then come up 6 inches. I'm going to come across right here to my 6 and my 6. And then I'm also going to finish out my 9 inches right here so it will fit. The gridding process is just a different way to duplicate an image. People have been doing this for hundreds of years of drawing different images and how to do it more precisely. It's just a different way of drawing, and it may hurt your brain just a little bit, but if it does, that means it's working. All right. Next thing we're going to do is create our grid. Okay. You can see our grid is in 1 inch squares. So with these little dots all the way around our paper, you're going to create 1 inch dots. Okay. Same thing with my ruler. And 1 inch is really easy because you just follow the numbers. And voila, we got 1 inch dots all the way around our paper, kind of like a picture frame. Next thing you want to do is connect these dots to create your grid. You want to do this very, very lightly because in the end, you are going to erase them. I'm going to draw them just a little bit darker so that you guys can see it just a little bit better on the screen now. I'm making sure my dots are aligned before I make my mark. Okay, so the grid should look exactly like the grid on our beetle. Now, the next step that you can do, you don't have to do this next step, but it always helps me, and it's numbering your grid on your reference and your actual image, okay? So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the long ways I can do the ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Okay, and do it the same right here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, there are 2 different ways you can do the grid system. You can go 1 by 1 and copy directly what you see in each box, Or number 2, you can do the outline of your main image and then start filling in the details that way. Okay. You always want to make sure that your main subject are in the correct squares before you start putting in a lot of work and detail, because you find out, oh, I'm off by a grid or 2, then it's going to screw up your whole entire process and start over. The main thing I'm looking for is that you followed your grid and you could follow directions and execute that clearly and well in your drawing. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to find my main parts of my beetle here. Okay. I'm going to find the pinchers right here. The pinchers are in G, the very tip of G right here, and I'm going to draw that in. It's just very lightly. The next one down in G2 is an extension of that. Okay. Also in G2, I have the other pincher coming up about halfway. Kind of curves down, and see that little raggedy part right here. And then a little bit in our H2, it comes up and down, and it comes all the way down to almost that corner. So right now it doesn't look like the beetle, right? But if I follow each little baby square and put it all together, it will look like my beetle. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit more so that you can see. And when I'm drawing, I'm constantly looking back and forth between my reference and my actual drawing. Okay. You want to have this in place as well when you are drawing in real life, because you always want to make sure you're drawing what you need to be drawing. So I made a mistake right here. The pincher comes up a little bit more than what I had. So I'm going to fix that. That's why you always need to draw lightly. Comes all the way around. Kind of like that. You're going to continue going in and making your changes to where you need it. And that eyeball is about right here. And you're just going to keep going until you finish up your beetle. The last things you need to do when you're completely done with your beetle is to erase your grid. So all these extra little lines and everything needs to be gone. I don't want to see it. An easy way you can do that around your beetle and your details is outline it in Sharpie and then take your big eraser and erase the whole entire thing in one swoop. Okay. Keep this outline edge though for me when you do that. All right. Now remember, this is making your brain think a little bit differently than what we're used to when we're drawing and looking at things to draw. It's forcing you to slow down, and it's forcing you to look as you draw and look at what you're drawing. Okay. Everyone can do this. It's very manageable. Some people love this way to draw. Some people, it's a love-hate relationship, but it's a good technique to know and to hold